welcome back to my YouTube channel, This Little Kitten Stitches. I'm Tanya, and this is my channel that I'll show you all about my cross stitch, my sewing, my bags, and my craft fairs, and just whatever else I feel like. I have my handy dandy tablet here, so don't mind me looking at it constantly. Today is May 30th, and this is my Flosstube number 3. So in this video, I'll show you guys all the progress I've made in my whip since my last video. How wipgo is going, and I have, you guys, Flosstube is a really bad influence because I have 2 new starts, but at the very least I have an FFO. And then I'll talk a little bit about my plans for next month and my plans for like videoing YouTube to keep kind of on a schedule. And then at the very end, if you guys want to skip or not, it's up to you. I'm going to show the bags that I finished that I showed in my last video. They're now finished now. So let's just start with wipgo. So just to recap, May's wipgo numbers were 19, 5, and 13. So I'm going to put my wipgo board somewhere so you can have a look at what it looks like. And just a little reminder as well is that I edit my wipgo board the last couple of months because when I first started in January, I didn't have very many whips, and since then I've started quite a few, and I've wanted to add those to my board because I had a lot of like duplicate days or random days, so I just wanted to include the new whips on my wipgo board. So number 19 was to do 100 stitches on my Nightmare Before Christmas set, which there were 4 pieces, and I've completed that. Number 5 was to choose a whip by random using a random wheel generator, and the wheel chose HP Magic Girl, and I've got 4 days completed, and I'm going to do the 5th day tonight, so I'm just going to call that as a complete for this video. And then number 13 was the free space, and I chose to do random all month. So other than doing my other wipgo days, I had to use a random wheel to choose my whips for that night, and I was mostly successful. There might have been a day or two where I kind of just kept hitting the wheel over and over until I got the whip that I wanted, because I did a new start and I really wanted to start it. So I'm gonna count that as following that whip or that goal. I don't care. It's 13. It's fine. And then now June's numbers have been called. So yeah, again, and I mentioned I have edited my video and board, and thank goodness I did, because the 2 numbers that were called, if I left them the same, they would have been 2 days. Like both numbers would have been pick whips by random, and I'm kind of randomed out. I want to work on the pieces I want to work on. So number 25 is 10 days of random whips using the my random wheel generator, and I think that's doable. Number 2, before I changed it, before the numbers were called, by the way, I'm not changing numbers if they've already been called. I'm stuck with it, but this was just before the numbers were called. So 2 was originally 5 days on a random whip, but I changed that to 5 days on my Harry Potter Library Girl. So I'm kind of glad of that. And then yeah, that's it for my wipgo goal. So now let's just go through my whips. Alright, so I thought I'd show you my wipgo goals first. So this is part of my Nightmare Before Christmas series. I chose 4, so here's Jack Skellington. I did 444 stitches on him. Just a lot of the white here, if you can see. All 4 of these pieces are done on a 14 count cream Aida that I got at Michael's, and it's a 3/1 full cross with a DMC thread. And I just got these on Etsy, so I'll put a picture and the shop name up here in the corner somewhere for all of the whips that I'm going to show you today. So there's Jack. So next I have Sally, and she got 111 stitches this month. And then I did 0, and he got 101 stitches this month. And then Oogie Boogie, and he got 103 stitches this month. So that means I completed my wipgo goal of 100 stitches on each of those pieces. Next I have my HP Magic Girl, and she got 447 stitches this month. And like I said before, I've completed 4 days on her, and I plan on doing the final day tonight. This is done on a 14 count white Aida, 3/1 full cross, and I just got the fabric from Michaels. Alrighty. So next I'll show you so for the next month, my wipgo is the HP Library Girl. So this is what I've got complete at the moment, and that's 193 stitches. And that'll be 5 days on her for the month of June. This fabric is an 18 count white Aida that I just got from Michaels, and I do 2/1 full cross with a DMC thread. It's a small piece, but it's going to be like a full coverage, and I'll be really excited when I can start getting into the colors, because the colors are actually very vibrant and very nice. So that'll be fun. Next, let's start with some of my really small ones. So this is Potions and Pages. Let me pull up. And this one is, yes, by Haunted Frames, and it was a free pattern. I'll post a link of her Ko-Fi store below. And let's see, this is on a 14 count white Aida. It's left over from the Nightmare Before Christmas fabric. And I'm using 3/1 full cross. And I did 261 stitches this month. So I worked a lot on these yellow pieces here in the books in the center. There we go. Next is my 2 dogs, 1 cat piece. I've still been working a lot on the black. I did 483 stitches this month. And this is an 18 count white Aida, 2/1 full cross. I will have to, because like I said in my previous videos, I've changed the main dog here to be basically a duplicate of the other one, because I have 2 labs. So I had to edit the pattern here, and then I will have to be careful to edit the background, because it's like a mountain scape and a sunset. But I'm just gonna stick it to the easy part right now and just fill in the black. So, like I said, I did 483 stitches on this guy this month. So I look forward to getting that guy started, the colors at least. Next is another doggy, which is my Doggy Juice Shop. And this is an 18 count fabric that I hand dyed myself. This is the first time I did hand dyeing, and I made it as bright as possible. 18 count, 2/1 full cross. This one I started before, kind of like before I started gridding. As you can see, I didn't have like a full grid on here, but I'll just grid as I go. Yeah, and I know I use Frixion pens to grid, and I know the warning that in cold weather they might come back, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just iron it again or regret it. So remind me of this video in the future, should I regret gridding with Frixion pens. Anyways, that one's fun. Next, I have my temperature sal, and I'm still a couple days behind, but so far so good. This is a black 18 count Aida that I just got for Christmas, I think from Amazon. I have found that I wish I shifted the temperature a bit, because we've already hit over 30 degrees and it's not even June yet. And my highest temp for the called for only goes up to 26. So I did choose like this darker red It's more like a muted dark red, so anything over 28 and up is just going to be this dark red, and I'll have to suck that up. Welcome to living in Canada, where we go as low, like as minus 30 and over plus 30 very easily. So, yeah, there's that. Next, I have, I forgot to mention how many stitches I did on that one. I did 438 stitches on that so far. Alright, so next I have my haunted store, and I did exactly 0 stitches this month. It just didn't get picked up for random since my last video. It wasn't picked in the random wheel generator. I hope to work on it more this month though. But this is 20 count pre-gridded easy grid fabric I just got online. And I am doing this 2/1 tent stitch, which makes it go by a lot faster. I thought, oh, maybe I'll do like color completion, and then I'm like, F that, and I started just filling in at the top. Because I like changing colors. It's a lot more fun. Next, I have my mini treasure hunt Haid. This one, I don't think, it got 0 stitches again this month. It just didn't get pulled in my wheel. I think for my wheel, I'm going to remove this Haid and then my Pokemon Spectrum full color, because they're too big and they're too complicated. I kind of just need to be in the mood to do those ones. So I'm going to leave them off the wheel. Every other one is kind of like an easy stitch, and these are just, you got to be in the mood to do these ones, because you're just going to F it up or not enjoy it, and the point of cross stitching is to enjoy it. So while I've got this pulled out, like, you know, it is a 20 count Zwiegart in the color gray I got online, and I am doing it 2/1 tent stitch, and I have gridded it myself. Next, I have my Great White Christmas, and he has gotten 334 stitches this month, and this is an 18 count white fabric that I got on Michael's, and I am doing it 2/1 full cross, and I bought a variegated hand-dyed thread on Etsy. I'll post a link to where I bought that. Let's see, and yeah, this it's nice when you need a simple stitch with just one color of thread. And this will probably be about the only Christmassy thing that I ever do, because I'm not a huge fan of Christmas decorating. So there's that one. So next, I have my video game sampler, and I didn't get any done on this one this month. Sadly, it just didn't get picked again. It didn't get picked in the wheel. I guess the thing about the random wheel generator, unless you have it remove the option if it's picked, is you might not see all your whips in that month. So that's the hazard. This is a 14 count 3/1 full cross fabric from Michael's, DMC thread, all call for colors, and I've gridded it myself. And last but not least is Gamer Girl, and I don't think I did any on her either. I did 26 stitches, and then I think I had to do some frogging of, like, there's this one brown stitch and I had a bunch along here, and I counted wrong. I put it in the wrong grid hole, and so I had to frog that. I have gridded this fabric myself. Now I've only gridded basically 1/4 of it, because obviously this is going to take a while to complete, so I didn't bother gridding the entire thing. When I move my hoop, I'll grid it then. But I haven't worked on it at all this month. It didn't come up in the wheel. This fabric is 22 count, and I hand dyed it myself. This is like my 3rd attempt at doing the Gamer Girl. excuse me, the first time I made the fabric way too dark, and I just couldn't grid on it, and the piece is like, it's a full coverage, it's too complicated to not have the grid. So I decided to make new fabric and just hand dye it a lighter purple. I'm also not doing the background, so that's why I wanted a colored fabric, because I wanted to lessen the workload and just omit the background completely. Yeah, so this is 22 count, and I'm doing it 2 over 110 stitch. The thing I am finding with, I think it's actually 25 count. And the only thing I don't like is if you pull too tight on your thread, it kind of slips under the threads in here, and then you end up with a straight stitch instead of a diagonal stitch. So it has to be really careful of your tension when pulling on the thread, versus I think like the 20 count and higher or lower, 20 count, 18 count. I can tug it firmly, and I don't have to worry about my thread slipping under the thread in the fabric. So again, this one's, I think I'm going to leave it on my wheel. But if I find that, like, more often or not, when it comes up on the wheel, I don't want to do it, then I might take it off and only do it really when I want to work on like a more complicated piece. Yeah, so there are all my whips. So now what you've been waiting for are my new starts. So I'm going to start with my smallest new start. So you will see after my new starts that I have a fully finished object. And that was my Book of Warrior Queens, which I'll show you after I've showed you my new starts. So I had to have a new travel whip, and I decided to do the Book of Lost Keys. I was in a purple mood. So, you know, I had to do purple. So this fabric is a 14 count white Aida, and I kind of just hand dyed it myself. So here's the fabric. I just wanted a very like muted mottled purple. And when I did dye this fabric, I did add blue, but the blue really didn't take very well. So it's mostly just like white and purple. The other 2 books that I've done was on a printed Aida from Michaels. And what I found with that fabric, it just seemed bigger than a 14 count, because I do 3 over 1 full cross, and it's just slightly not as thick. So I had to worry a lot about my tension. If I pulled too hard, it would literally pull like the stitches over. So I have to be really careful with the other ones, but this one is a sturdier fabric, so I don't really have to worry about my tension. It just seems a lot more like fuller than my other 2, so I'm happy about that. And that's why I didn't want to buy another printed fabric when I could just dye it myself and enjoy the stitch better. So for her, I have done 122 stitches so far. So let me get the thread out of here, and then you can watch me add my new needle minder for this stitch, and I felt it works well enough. Book, purple, win-win. And then I'm going to upgrade my paper clip that I stole from work, and I'm going to use one of these magnetic things that I see everybody in their floss tubes using to hold their fabric down. So there we go. There's that new start. Okay, and then this new start. Dun, dun, this is the one that I kind of cheated with my random wheel this month, because I really wanted to start this. So just to look at the fabric, this is an 18 count white Aida, and I hand dyed it myself, a very, very pale blue. I don't know if you can see how pale this blue is, but I thought I'll unveil it very slowly. So this pattern is, I'm not making the pattern, but I'm kind of like combining a bunch of different patterns to make one whole piece. So what I'm doing is, you can see how big this is. This is going to be a Final Fantasy themed cross stitch. So this original, I want to have the Final Fantasy logo up here. As you can see, I had to make this pattern myself. I used it on Stitch Whip, or I can't remember what it's called. And I couldn't get it into Pattern Keeper, so I'm kind of doing the paper pattern for that. But after that, I'm going to fill the whole sheet with sprites from all the Final Fantasy games that I've played, my favorite ones. I'll post a picture of kind of like my idea of how it's going to be set up. And then as I get farther down, I can't decide if I want to just make the whole thing Final Fantasy, or like in my original picture, as you can see, I've got Kingdom Hearts. And then below that, I'd want to add like all like the old retro games that I used to play as a kid, like Mario and Kirby and Spyro. So I haven't decided yet if I just want this whole piece to just be solely Final Fantasy, or if I kind of want to just make it my like favorite video games. So I got lots of time to decide that, because I got half of this is going to be at least Final Fantasy characters easily. So yes, and then I do have a needle minder coming that is matches Final Fantasy more than this sprite. Yeah, so I'm really excited to work on this one. And I'm also, by the way, I am doing it 2/1 full cross. So yes, you'll have to wait and see what sprites I'm going to do when I get that far. So that'll be a surprise. Okay, and now I have a fully finished object. Dun, dun, dun. And that is Book of Warrior Queens by Haunted Frames. This frame is just from Michaels, and I actually had to paint it black because it was originally pink. And I accidentally got the too small size. But I mean, it still fit, but it's right to the edges, and I would have liked a bit more of a border like my other one. And I don't know if you can notice, but I made the same mistake twice. So up here, I made these 2 stitches the wrong direction. And then I made this 2 stitches, and then I forgot to do the little triangle. And honestly, I wasn't going to fix it. If you heard at the beginning of the video, I basically threw out my shoulder and neck back stitching this, which was a lot of back stitching. So I was kind of done with that. But I don't think you can really notice the errors in it, and I'm quite happy with it. So I'm gonna do all of them. I'm gonna do all the ones in the series. So that's my FFO. Okay, so that's everything for my whips and starts and FFOs. So let's talk about my plans. I do plan on continuing with wipgo. I quite enjoy wipgo. It feels like an accomplishment when you can put that check mark on that chart. I also plan on continuing using my random wheel. I am, as I said, gonna remove my mini treasure hunt and my Pokemon generation stitch, because those are more complicated patterns, and I just feel like I'll enjoy it more if I only stitch on them when I feel like stitching on them. It's just one of those patterns, so that's the plan for that. And let's see. And then as for Flosstubes, I think I'm going to try to do them at the end of the month to kind of coincide with wipgo. And plus, I don't stitch too much. It's usually maybe an hour or 2 a night, sometimes less, sometimes more. And I want to be able to show you guys progress. And I also want to try and get like pictures, you know, so that you can see kind of my progress from one video to the next. And yeah, I gotta up my editing game. It's tough to edit. I'm not naturally social media savvy, and I'm kind of a lurker. I'm a watcher. So yeah, I'll try to get those in at least once a month, and maybe do some shorts in between, or if I feel like doing any of that. And then that's everything for Flosstube and cross stitching. Last video I did show you guys kind of what I was working on for bag making. So if you don't want to see any bags, you guys can just click off now. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Just comment me a random emoji, your favorite emoji, just to know I know you made it this far in the video. And yeah, I'll show you my bags. So these are like peekaboo. These are called the Peekaboo beauty bags, and the pattern is by Marmino. All my bags I like to line with like a waterproof canvas. You know, easy cleanup. And then these I like these because they are open very wide. So like this pattern, super cute. And then let me grab a bunch at once. So these there. And then, I mean, all the bags are going to look better when there's stuff in them, of course. Like, they kind of seem like flat now, but, you know, bags look better when there's stuff in them. And then Pokemon, and I'm going to throw stuff on the floor because that's how I am. Good old Harry Potter. And then, so I do love a good witchy fabric as well. And whenever I bulk make bags, I usually have at least 2 Harry Potter fabrics because I am obsessed with Harry Potter. Dragons, and then last but not least, Nightmare Before Christmas. You can't go wrong with Nightmare Before Christmas. She's making a comeback. And then, okay, so next I'm doing a set of just some really basic tote bags. So I've already cut all the fabric out for those. So I'll give you kind of a little preview. So, tote Dragon Ball Z, of course, Harry Potter, zombie princesses, that one has a little bit more, regular old Disney princesses, these ones are really super cute, unicorns, Minecraft, you can't, like, Minecraft's never old. And then Disney villains. Again, some witchy style Halloween-y fabric. Pokemon. And last but not least, a Nightmare Before Christmas fabric. So, thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time, and I keep up with these videos. Bye!